it's Talia here. Welcome back to another video on my channel. Today I have for you kind of like my newborn must-haves. So I'm going to say that this video is from like just born to about 2 months old. Okay, so the very first thing I'm going to talk to you about is kind of like, I don't want to say controversial, but kind of like people were on the fence as to whether it is like a must-have or not. For me personally, it was a must-have and I absolutely loved having it. And that would be a wipe warmer. So the wipe warmer that we have, I'm pretty sure is like the Lion's Heart wipe warmer. We actually got it from a friend of ours. They never used it, so we ended up getting it from them and I absolutely loved it. I know for me personally, I'm kind of like a diva, and so if I had like a nice little like warm feeling cloth on my bum, I would absolutely love it. So I thought the Rose really liked it. Some of the concerns about having a wipe warmer were that they like can harbor bacteria, which is like not the case at all. Like our wipe warmer is very sanitary. Also, another one of the concerns is that they'll get used to the wipe warmer and you won't be able to like not use like a cold wipe on them, which is like nothing at all that I have to worry about. If I have to use like a cold wipe on her when we're out and about, she has like no problems with it. So I don't know, that for us that wasn't even like a thought as to why I wouldn't use it, especially in like the first few weeks when like her poo was kind of like more sticky than it is now. It was really nice because it helped kind of loosen everything up for when we were cleaning her. So I absolutely love our wipe warmer. I don't think it was like a necessity, I guess. Like you can definitely get away with like not having a wipe warmer. I absolutely loved it. Could not stop talking about it for the first like few weeks with her. I'm so happy that we had it. So the next thing for like newborn must-haves is sleepers with like the little mitts that come over. This is what I'm talking about. The sleepers with the little mitts that cover over their hands so that they can't scratch their face. Now, where I live, had a heck of a time finding sleepers for my newborn that had like these little like mitt covers. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if it's just like you can't find a lot of them in Canada. I don't know if it's just my location. I don't know what the deal is. I've since heard that baby sleepers typically with these cover-ups only go till about 3 months. So now that she's into like she's probably more in like the 3-month sizes now, depending on the brand. But I am having a heck of a time finding them, and then the ones that I do find, her arms are too long to wear them. So I love them. I wish that like they kept making them for babies even past like 3 months old, but I'm having such a hard time finding them and also with them fitting her properly. So I've actually had to resort to using like the little mitts for her, and it's not just because she scratches her face. I find her hands get so cold, and so I would rather her have like little mitts on them, and like the rest of her is warm and like our house is warm. Trust me, our house is warm. But I'd rather have little mitts on them just to keep them warm for her than have like her having like little cold hands, because I find that she sleeps a lot better when she's warmer. So anyway, I'm having a hard time finding sleepers like that fit her now, but for the first few weeks it was like awesome. And those were the sleepers that we mainly put her in, was the ones that like I had that folded over. I honestly only have like 2 or 3 of them because they were so hard for me to find when she was first born. For my next baby, that is something that I will definitely look for right away, is sleepers with like more of these kind of fold over hands, because they are amazing. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to talk about was a necessity for me, and everybody's like breastfeeding situation is going to be completely different than just like mine or your friends or anything like that. Is slowly learning that breastfeeding is an interesting journey for everybody. Now for me, Rose and I struggled with breastfeeding, and we are like, she's 10 weeks old now and we're finally on like the up for breastfeeding. So yay! But breastfeeding for us was such a struggle at the beginning. Like, oh my gosh, was it such a struggle. If you guys want to like hear like a breastfeeding video, like more where I talk more in depth about breastfeeding and my struggles with it and where we are now and that sort of thing, definitely comment below and let me know. I'd be more than happy to share that story with you guys, because I find that not a lot of people talk about their breastfeeding journeys unless they're like have like a common ground with somebody to talk about it with. So when I was having struggles, all of a sudden I heard of like all these other struggles that my friends or my clients and stuff were having, and so it was kind of nice to know that I wasn't alone. But anyway, so the couple items that I'm going to talk about for breastfeeding, the very first thing that I'm so glad that I had is a breast pump. One of my girlfriends told me to like wait until after having baby to get a breast pump, and I was like, you know, naive pregnant lady, I'm like, oh yeah, I won't need a breast pump, I'm not going to have any problems. But I was telling my husband about that, how she had said, you know, maybe we should wait until after just to see if I need one or whatever. And my husband was like, no, like you're getting a breast pump. I want to be able to help you when I can, so you can pump and bottle and whatever we need to do. So let's just get a breast pump. So we got a breast pump before baby was even born, and I'm so glad that we did. Little brief into like our breastfeeding journey. Rose had a tongue tie when she was born. She was also rushed to NICU right away, so we weren't able to do skin on skin, and I'm not sure if that like really impacted our breastfeeding journey at the beginning, but I'm sure it didn't help at all. And she also, it was about 2 to 3 hours before I was able to see her and even try to breastfeed her, so I'm sure that that had some struggles as well. So it was just like, right off the bat, our journey was like not off to the best start. So when we got her home and I was trying to breastfeed her at home, it was like a huge struggle, and she ended up having to go back to the hospital because she wasn't gaining enough weight. And basically the health nurse had said to me, like, you need to pump and bottle her and get something into her and get her to emerge so that they can check her out. She was perfectly healthy. She was basically just hungry. That's when our breastfeeding journey like kind of more took off, and like I understood it a lot more and whatnot. So anyway, I'm so glad that when the health nurse was like at our house and said to us, you need to pump and bottle her, that I had a pump there ready to go. Now the breast pump that I use and that we purchased was the Medela Freestyle. So when I was researching breast pumps, I knew that I wanted to get like kind of like the same brand that the hospital uses. I wanted to like get a really good quality pump. I also wanted a pump that would help with like any pumping situation that I needed. So I wanted to make sure that I got a double pump because I thought it would be a lot easier to pump two at the same time if I needed. This is all of my like pregnancy research, not having any idea of what a breast pump really even was. But I just wanted to make sure that I covered my butt in like every single area. So I found with the Medela Freestyle that this was the way to go. It's like, it's portable, it's so small, it's strong. It's a double pump. You can also like turn it into a single pump if you need to. It came with like basically everything that you could possibly need for like breastfeeding pumping journey. Like it came with some samples of like nipple cream, it came with bottles, it came with all the pump accessories, it came with a little cooler. What else did it come with? Freezer bags. It came with like literally everything you could possibly need for your breastfeeding journey. It was amazing. I'm so glad that we got it. My husband's health plan actually paid for this, so definitely look into your health plan and see if they cover a breast pump. So that was awesome. So I'm so glad that I had a breast pump right off the beginning. So once we started our breastfeeding journey, kind of like took off a little bit more, she wasn't getting enough from me, so we would have to use like expressed milk and bottle her and top her up after every single feed. So basically my feeding routine went breastfeed, bottle her with express milk, and then pump. And this was like a daily thing that I had to do. It was exhausting. It was so much work, but I'm so thankful that I had this pump because it cut down on the time because it was a double pump. It also brought in my milk a lot more because I was able to pump two at the same time. Yeah, basically I'm just so happy that I bought a breast pump ahead of time. I'm sure like not every mom is going to need it. Every single situation is different. For me personally, a breast pump was the way to go, and I'm glad I invested in a really good one because I think in helping a lot with us being able to breastfeed a lot better now. So I'm very thankful. I'm very happy that I have this breast pump. Now the next thing that I'm going to share with you, I wish I would have bought ahead of time. I ended up buying this about 2 weeks into Rose being here, and I wish I would have had it right off the bat. My one girlfriend told me that I should have bought this right away. Like back when I was pregnant, she's like, get this too. And I was like, oh, I won't need that because I'm not going to have problems with breastfeeding. I'm not going to need to pump. So yeah, anyway, again, naive pregnant lady, right? When you're pumping your boobs, for the first few weeks, I was just like holding the little pumps up here. And it was like so frustrating. Like I literally couldn't do anything else. My friend suggested like cutting out some holes in like an old camisole or cutting some holes in like an old sports bra, but because like my boobs are quite a bit smaller, like the pumps wouldn't stay very well in those type of like homemade things. Okay, so this is the Simple Wishes hands-free pumping bustier, I think it's called. Okay, so what it is it wraps around your back. You put your pumping accessories like into your, you put your pumping accessories here. It's got like a little hole that comes out here for them to sit, and you zip it up in front. Okay, so when it's all zipped up here, your little like pumping accessories are coming out of here, and when it's all zipped up, you hook up your pump and then you just go. You've got your like complete hands-free, complete control. I spend a lot of time editing videos while I'm pumping because of this. It's so easy to use. I absolutely love this thing. I'm so happy that I have it. It was like kind of expensive. It was $50, but for me it was like well worth it to have. It also comes with like an extender in the front, so like if your boobs are bigger or doesn't fit you properly or whatever, you can extend it a little bit more. I am so happy that I invested in one of these. It just like the first little bit where I was like using nothing and just sitting there like holding my pump stuff for like 15 minutes at a time, I was like miserable. I was like, this freaking sucks, like just staring at the wall, not doing anything. So I'm so glad that I invested in this. I wish I would have had it for the first few weeks, but I mean, I didn't know how my breastfeeding journey was going to go. I thought that like I wasn't going to be having to pump for very long, but it turns out like I'm still pumping to this day. Even though Rose in my breastfeeding journey is going so much better, I'm still pumping. So I'm so glad that I had one of these like right away. Okay, the next thing I'm going to talk about is a bottle mat, I guess is what they're called. So it's basically just like, it looks like plastic grass and it sits beside your sink. I absolutely love this. Again, didn't have this for the first few weeks, but because we ended up having to breastfeed and bottle her express milk, we did need bottles. We did need bottle accessories for the first little bit. And so I didn't invest in this right away, but I'm glad that I did eventually invest in it because it was driving me insane trying to wait for like things to dry when you just had them on a towel. We also don't have like a dish drying rack because most of our dishes get washed in the dishwasher. So for me, like investing in this was a really good idea. I'm really glad that I have it, but basically your wet bottles and such just sit on here and just dry, basically. They're like, lets airflow go up into the bottles and your accessories and it just air dries kind of thing. Absolutely loved it. You can also get like little accessories. So I bought like the little tree that goes with it so that for like bottle nipples and like her pacifiers and stuff like that. Really glad that I invested in one of these. They are a little bit expensive, but we use it literally like every single day. Again, Rose is mostly like breastfed at the boob now, but I still use it for bottles when my husband bottle feeds her with express milk now. So really glad that I invested in one of these. Now to go along with it, I'm really glad that I invested in this pink Dr. Brown's bottle brush cleaner. I'm really glad that this brush comes with like a little stand for the brush to sit in. It's like the perfect size for like cleaning any bottles. I also bought some of these little brushes to clean like the nipples and all the small accessories, pump gear and stuff that came with, that we also had to clean. So these three were like amazing. And when I had to when I was at like the top of my bottling game where she was getting mostly bottled express milk because she wasn't getting very much straight from the boob, I loved my little bottling station. Like I swear every single day it was like, it was so like soothing to just come to like this little bottling station, have all her bottles cleaned, watching them air dry. After I sanitized them, I would put them all out here. I just really loved this little station. Yeah, so again, like everybody's breastfeeding journey is going to be different and you might not need some of this if you're planning on just straight breastfeeding and it works out well for you. It's not always the case that you can straight breastfeed. So if you are going to need bottles or if you choose to formula feed or you have to formula feed or anything like that, having like a nice little bottling station for all of this stuff was for me personally like a must-have. Okay, the next thing is a dimmer switch. So in Rose's room, and I had read this before while I was setting up her nursery, one of the suggestions was putting a dimmer switch in your baby's nursery. I am so glad that my husband installed one. I absolutely love our dimmer switch. For Rose, she hates bright lights. She hates like bright lights in the store, she hates bright lights in the house, she hates like outside, like she just like does not like bright lights. So I do turn it up a little bit during the day so that like she kind of gets used to like it being day and then like it being night, so she kind of knows the difference. But it's really nice for her nighttime feedings for me just to turn it on really dim and then keep it turned down really low to feed her and then just shut it off as we go. Or if I want it brighter in the day, I can turn it up. I absolutely love having a dimmer switch in her nursery. Okay, so a couple more like feeding things. Now because again, we had to bottle feed Rose quite a bit, more so like we had to bottle feed her a lot from like week 1 all the way up until probably last week. Like last week was kind of like our road to like straight breastfeeding, which is amazing. So, but because we had to bottle feed her express milk quite a lot for her whole life, basically, I'm so glad I invested in some bibs. Now, breast milk doesn't typically stain her clothes, so that wasn't like necessarily like a worry for me. That's not really why I wanted to use a bib. It was just kind of like driving me insane to have to clean up like spilt milk around her neck and stuff. So we started using bibs pretty early on, actually. When she was about 2 weeks old is when we started using bibs around her. And I prefer the bibs that have like the Velcro on the side. They're just so easy as opposed to like the snaps that you have to do up. So These little bibs are just from Gerber, and they're just from Walmart. They're nothing super fancy, but I absolutely loved these. I think they were like zero. I'm not entirely sure what size they were, but they fit her like right off the bat. So that's really nice. And they are like completely adjustable. So if she's got like a smaller neck, or as she gets like bigger and she's got a bigger neck, we absolutely loved using these right away when we had to bottle her so much. Again, now that she's mostly getting milk straight from the boob, we don't have to use these very often, but I know that we'll need bibs down the road when we're trying to like get her more onto solid foods and stuff like that. So another thing that I absolutely loved having were these burp cloths. Now these are just like homemade ones from like a local lady in my city sells these, and I absolutely love these ones. I love them because they fit so perfectly. There's like a little cutout for your neck here, but they cover so much of your shoulder, which is amazing. You obviously won't be able to get these ones like straight from her or anything like that. But if you are looking for like nice burp cloths, I recommend getting these ones as opposed to the ones that are just like a straight cloth, because they fit so nicely around your neck. Like they're so easy to get onto your shoulder, and they just have like a nice little cutout here for her to sit on, sort of thing. So highly recommend burp cloths. But again, like these aren't a huge necessity. You can definitely use a receiving blanket. We've got some long receiving blankets that I'm going to talk to you about next that fit like over your entire like chest, and that works really well if she's kind of like, now that she's a bit older and she's moving a lot more when we burp her. But I do recommend burp cloths. These are also really easy and quick to put in your diaper bag too. Okay, so speaking of long receiving blankets, these are the flannel receiving blankets that I'm talking about. And again, these are from the lady who makes those same burp cloths. Now these receiving blankets are like huge. They're so, so huge. I absolutely love them. They're so warm. They're so soft. I think I bought like 6 of them from her because I just love them so, so much. I feel like they're kind of like the big cotton swaddling blankets that you can get, but like they're not, they're flannel. But I absolutely love them. So if you're looking for receiving blankets, I highly recommend getting like the really, really big sizes. The smaller ones do have like a purpose as well. Like you can use them for a lot of different things too. But I find I reach for these really, 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 really long big ones a lot more than I reach for those small ones. Definitely check out like your farmers markets and baby trade shows and stuff like that to see if there's anybody who makes like the really, really long blankets, because I absolutely love these. I hardly reach for any of the ones that I bought in the store. These are the ones that I definitely prefer, are these really, really long receiving blankets. Okay, another thing that was kind of a necessity for us, and again, this is just kind of a personal situation, were these like just born swaddling blankets. So this is how they come. They just have like a little place for her like feet at the bottom here, and then you just easily swaddle her up. Now, I didn't use these at nighttime. I didn't use these when she was fussy. I used these for when I had to stretch her tongue tie. So because she had a tongue tie, I had to do tongue stretches under her tongue 6 times a day, just so it wouldn't reattach, and I had to swaddle her. I am like the worst swaddler of life. Like she squirms out of every single swaddle that I put her in until I got these like little blankets for swaddling her. So I could easily quickly like put her feet in there, swaddle over, do her tongue tie, and then just be done with it. Especially because I had to do it so much throughout the day. I had to do it basically before every single feed. 6 times a day was quite a bit. And like in the middle of the night, trying to like swaddle her when I'm half asleep was kind of driving me insane. So I'm really glad that I invested in one of these. Or when she had like some congestion in her nose and we had to do like saline drips and like suck her snot and all that sort of stuff, we swaddled her for that too. That way she wasn't squirming around so much. So I recommend having one of these because you're probably going to have to go through some sort of cold or anything with them, or some purpose where you're going to need her to just kind of like not be moving. So glad that I had one of these, but I didn't have to get very many, just one worked. So okay, 2 sleeping things. So I recommend having like kind of like a noise machine. We use this like little Fisher-Price fish one back here. That's what we use for her. It's really great because just as she's kind of like in that falling asleep phase or whatever, I can just like turn that on, and then that kind of like soothes her to sleep. I've used that basically since like day 1 of bringing her home. I've used that little fish thing, and it also, now that she's watching things a lot more, I can turn like the lights on it, put her in her crib, turn the lights on, and I can like go do something around the house or anything, and she'll like completely be amazed by it, and it'll like entertain her for like a few minutes while I have to like run to the washroom or go do anything. So I love our little Fisher-Price fish toy machine. Absolutely love it. I also recommend downloading on your phone a good like baby soother app. So the one that I use is just this one here. It's the baby soother app. She absolutely loves the hairdryer sound. I have tried every single one on here to see which one she likes, and it's the hairdryer sound. Literally, as soon as I turn it on, it knocks her out. It's the funniest thing because she can just be like fussing like crazy, and as soon as I turn it on, she's just like peace out, I'm going to sleep. So I absolutely love having that. The only problem with having it on my phone is I feel like if I want to leave it on and like leave the room or something like that, I have to like leave my phone there. So I'm gonna look at getting an actual sound machine that I can leave in her nursery and just turn it on and like just leave it here so I don't have to worry about having it on my phone. But having it on my phone has like saved my butt a few times where she's been like kind of fussing and I just like need to calm her down. So for me personally, like a baby app and a baby soother like works really, really well. Okay, couple other things that I recommend. A baby swing. So we have the Ingenuity baby swing. I'll look up the exact name and put it here. I used this a lot with Rose when she was like a fresh like newborn and I was spending my days with her in the living room. I would feed her and I would just like kind of put her in her swing, and that's where she would kind of sleep and nap, and it allowed me to kind of like get some stuff done around the house during the days. Now that she's getting a little bit bigger, she does use her swing. I want to say, but not quite as much, because it's easier to kind of put her on her play mat now or like in her crib here and she'll be entertained. But we don't use her swing as much these days, but like right off the bat when she was a fresh newborn, I absolutely loved my baby swing for her. I might invest like in a nicer baby swing in the future for like future babies, just because I know how much that she used it. Also, the one thing that I don't like about this baby swing is the headrest. The headrest adds like no support to her. It also doesn't have like support on the side for her. So like especially when her head was like all kind of floppy, I'd have to put like a receiving blanket that would go all the way around her head because it just added no support. So I hate the headrest on this baby swing. My sister-in-law, she has like a Fisher-Price one that has like a headrest that like kind of goes up a little bit more on her sides, and I wish I would have like looked more at the headrest when investing in a swing, because this headrest is like junk. Like it is not good. Now that her head's got a lot more strength, it's not such a big deal, but when she was a newborn, it was kind of frustrating not to have like a nice headrest. The other thing I recommend is having a really, really nice comfy nursing chair. When I was looking for a chair for baby's nursery, I wanted something that was so comfy. I didn't really care what it looked like. I didn't care so much about the color. I wanted like a comfy lazy boy chair. I knew I was going to be spending hours in it. I knew I was going to be probably sleeping in it some nights. So I wanted something that was so comfy and super supportive. I didn't even look at chairs at like baby stores or anything because I knew they would not be comfortable. We invested in a lazy boy. It is like my favorite chair of life. I absolutely love it. It adds so much back support, and when you're like sitting in a chair for so long, you need something that's super comfy to support your back. Also, the arms on the chair are really supportive too. So when my husband has to bottle feed her, we just put like a little pillow on top of it. He can rest his arm on the chair and he's super comfy. Especially for me nursing her, I can like kind of just like lay her across my chest. Her feet will just kind of hang on the side of the chair on like one of the arms, now that she's bigger, and they don't go anywhere. Like it's just so comfy for all of us. I love the little clicking mechanism in the lazy boy chairs, because you literally just like lean back, it clicks up, and you're just like at an incline if you want, or you're perfectly flat. Oh, I'm so glad that we spent the extra money and invested in like a really nice comfy nursing chair. Sometimes I nurse her in the living room if we're watching TV or anything like that. Nowhere near as comfortable, that is for darn sure. If I could take that chair like to every single room of the house with me, I totally would. I love having a comfy chair for nursing her late at night. I love it so much, and that is the main reason why I don't want to take it out of the nursery, is because when she wakes up in the middle of the night, I take her from her crib, I change her, I nurse her, I put her straight back to bed. Like it's just like such an easy, quick routine. And to have to like take her to the living room to nurse her just to come back, it doesn't make sense to me. So I'm leaving the chair in the nursery for now. Probably when she gets to like the 6-month mark, or when she's not like nursing so much at night or anything like that, maybe it'll go out. But for now, I'm very glad that we have it in here. Okay, so a couple things that are like more recent favorites. I absolutely love these Johnson's nursing pads. Absolutely love these. I have tried the Medela ones. I have tried like the Lansono, I don't know, whatever that like popular nursing brand is. I've tried these. I've tried the Medela ones, and I find that what I don't like about these is they're like, let me open one for you so you can show you the difference. Okay, so this is like, I'm gonna just show you the name of them so you guys can like see what I mean. I suck at pronouncing things, you guys know if you follow my nail channel. But anyway, these are kind of like add like a really weird kind of line to like, and when they sit in like your nursing shirts or anything like that, like they just add like a really weird bulk to it. They're super uncomfortable. Now these Johnson & Johnson ones are like the shape of a boob. Like they're totally the shape of a boob. So they're so much more comfortable. Absolutely love these ones. I did buy a few that were not disposable ones, that they were like fabric ones from Time Maternity and Motherhood Maternity. And I don't mind those ones, but again, those ones lay like perfectly flat, so it just looks so funny in your shirts. Whereas this one, like you can't even really tell that you're wearing it because it forms to your boob. My only complaint is that it like looks like a nipple. I don't understand why they like made it look like a nipple like this. I guess because it's like a little bit more absorbent, but you can totally see like the nipple kind of poke through your shirt. So I wish that it was almost like flat, or like that there was like a little bit more bulk here to kind of cover it up, because I really don't like that that it looks like a nipple through your shirt. That's my only complaint. But these are super, super comfortable. I don't even reach for my non-disposable ones anymore that were like super comfy before these ones, just because I love these ones so much more. So I don't know, I would recommend these ones. I was actually like super tired of like trying disposable ones because I was like, these are just junk compared to my fabric ones, until I tried these ones. Super comfortable. Love that they're formed like shaped like a boob. Only complaint is that they look like a nipple. That's my only complaint. Okay, and the last two things that I want to share with you are something to do with her getting a cold. So she got a cold a few weeks ago, and we have used the Nose Frida like crazy on her ever since she got her cold, because she's been so congested. So if you don't know what the Nose Frida is, okay, so the Nose Frida is like a snot sucker. So it sounds really bad, but basically this end goes in your mouth, this end goes in her nose, and you just kind of like suck the snot out of her nose. So it sounds really gross. The only thing is there's like a filter right here. This filter here stops like anything from coming up to your mouth. And honestly, like there was one time I forgot to put this filter in, and which just sounds so gross, but there was one time I forgot to put the filter in, and I didn't get anything I didn't get anything coming up the spout thing here. So like it's going to take a lot of strength to get the stuff from like here all the way up to here into your mouth. So it sounds really gross, but the chances of you like actually getting snot in your mouth like are not a thing. Like it's not going to happen. Highly recommend getting one of these. We have like one of those safety first like nasal aspirator things, and I tried this before investing in a Nose Frida, and this is like junk compared to the Nose Frida. Like it does not work very well. The Nose Frida is like a must. Even if like, you know, your baby doesn't have a cold or anything, just like get one of these before your baby even arrives, because I can guarantee at some point in the first like month or so of you having a baby, you're going to need this. Highly recommend this. To go along with that, I'm glad that I invested in these boogie wipes. I remember people talking about these in some of the newborn videos that I was watching, and I was like, what is that? Like, why do you need a boogie wipe? I don't get it. But these are gentle saline wipes for a stuffy nose. So after I'm done sucking everything out of her nose, I use these to wipe her nose. I also like kind of clean inside her nose with them. These ones smell like grape, which I personally love, but I also think that she kind of likes it too, because if she's fussing because of me like having to suck the snot out of her nose, as soon as I like put this near her nose, it's almost like a calming smell to her or something, because she calms like right down. I love that these are like saline, that they're saline wipes, because you know that they're going to be nice and gentle on her. I absolutely love these boogie wipes. I'm so, so glad that I have them. Did not understand like the purpose of them when I first started hearing people talk about them. But this is the second one that I've gone through, because every morning I do clean her nose with like a boogie wipe. These are not must-haves. These are a couple things that I really, really liked. They're not must-haves. I just wanted to share them with you guys first. This is just like her Pink Bear Wub-a-Nub, and it's just a soother. I didn't introduce pacifiers to her until she was probably about a month old, I think, just because of how many struggles we were having with breastfeeding. I have heard that introducing like artificial nipples or soothers or anything like that can impact it. With that being said, we had to introduce an artificial nipple because we had to feed her with a bottle about when she was 3 days old. So she got artificial nipples right away, but I didn't want to add any more like confusion or anything to it by adding a soother. But at the same time, when she was about 3 weeks old, 4 weeks old, she kind of took to them a little bit. I wanted to try it and see how she liked it. It hasn't impacted breastfeeding going forward. If anything, I think that it kind of helped with like her sucking and being able to suck a lot better, because she's had like some practice on the soothers. So I love her Wub-a-Nub for her. My biggest thing is like when she has it in her mouth, it kind of sits on her chest and it doesn't really go anywhere, which is what I like about the Wub-a-Nubs. There's also a couple other soothers that I've tried for her as well, and I find that like different soothers kind of have a different purpose. She doesn't take to one more than the other, and sometimes like one works really bad or really good for one situation, another one works really good for a different situation. So I like the Wub Nub. It's probably my favorite. It's my go-to for her for a soother, but there are a couple other ones that she takes to a little bit more depending on the situation. The next thing was a gift that we got, and it is from Cloud Bee, and it is her Twilight Buddy, and it's just like this pink elephant. So what it is you turn them on, and there's like different colors for the different lights on here, but these project onto the ceiling stars, different constellations in the middle of the night. I love this for her like nighttime feedings is what I love it for. So I can just turn this on, shut the lights off, and this adds enough illumination for my room to be able to feed her at night, so it's not too bright for her or anything like that. Again, we have the dimmer switch, so I can easily make it like a lot lighter and brighter with that, but if you don't have a dimmer switch, this is a good idea too. It has no sound to it, which at first I was kind of disappointed that it didn't, but at the same time, for nighttime feedings, I don't really need sound, so I'm actually glad that it's not a sound maker too. It's just like straight a light maker. I also really like this for when we had to bottle her, because I was finding, especially as she got to like that 1 month mark and she would like be more awake and more alert and stuff. Rose is a really fussy eater, if you hadn't gathered that. But she's a very fussy eater, whether it's on the boob or the bottle. She's a very fussy eater. She will take like probably like 60 mils and then she'll be done. And then she'll be hungry in like an hour sort of thing. So, and sometimes trying to get 60 mils into her is a lot of work, because she just likes to look around, and she like, once she's like somewhat full or somewhat uncomfortable, she just stops. So anyway, trying to keep her on the bottle is a little bit difficult sometimes, and so having this light on the roof kind of keeps her focused so that she can just kind of stare at the lights and then keep doing what she's got to do with the bottles. So I love that this distracts her. I love that it adds like a little bit of illumination to the nursery, and it works really well for like whether it's breastfeeding or bottle feeding sort of thing. I was really glad that we got one of these as a gift, and we use it like literally every single day. Okay, 2 items that we have that I never really used. The first one being the Owlet baby monitor. Now, when she was born, I was like super, super paranoid. I wanted to get this before, but it's super, super expensive. When she was born, my mother-in-law asked me if there was something that I really wanted for her, what would it be? And I said it was the Owlet baby monitor. And so my mother-in-law ordered it for us right away. I was super, super excited, so happy that we were going to have like something that I could monitor her with and make sure that like her breathing was okay and all of that. With that being said, this took about a month to come in from the time that my mother-in-law ordered it. So by that point, Steve and I had gone down to a really good routine with her. We felt really comfortable with her. I wasn't worried about her not breathing. I wasn't worried about her being too warm. I wasn't worried about any of that sort of stuff by the time like this actually came in. So I think this would be a really good purchase and a really good item for you to have if you are a first-time mom, especially for like that first month when you're just like so chaotic and you just want to make sure your baby's breathing all the time. But by the time this came in, I didn't even use it. Like I tried to set it up one night. I always forgot to put it on her, because by the time we actually put her to sleep, I was like, oh crap, like I should have put that on her. And so like I could totally use this for her now. I feel so much more comfortable with her that I just don't find it to be a necessity. Last thing I wanted to talk to you about was this nursing pillow. This is the My Breast Friend nursing pillow. Okay, so my biggest complaint about this pillow, when I was like pregnant and looking for a nursing pillow and whatnot, this had like the most reviews, like the best reviews out there. It seemed to be like the most kind of comfy, the most like the pillow that would adapt to any sort of situation. I don't know, I absolutely thought this was going to be like an amazing thing for me. I hardly use this. Reason being is when I was using this in the hospital, my mom said to me, she's like your pillow's super fancy, it's super nice. She's like, what are you going to do when you need to breastfeed her and you don't have your pillow? And I was like, oh, that's a good point. Like maybe I should learn to breastfeed my baby without a pillow. So I started breastfeeding her without a pillow just to make sure that I got like a rhythm for it, that I could support her properly and whatnot. And I have yet to like go back to using this pillow. I just do not find it to be a necessity at all. I find that if I need to support her, I'll just use like a pillow that's sitting on my couch or anything like that. I did not find this to be a necessity at all. I also found that because this is kind of what it looks like, and because it like clips around your back, I found that I had a really hard time getting into like a comfortable position for nursing her with this. I found that like this would just cause so much, like, because this is where your back would sit. I just found like I wasn't able to kind of like lean back and relax, and I just found like I was moving myself a lot more to adapt to her than bringing her to me with this pillow. So I don't know. I don't find this to be a necessity. I think I'm also I would actually try and sell this, but the only problem is I use this for her monthly pictures. I set up like blankets and stuff, and this supports her really well for her monthly pictures. So I do still use it, just not for breastfeeding. So I personally wouldn't invest in a breastfeeding pillow, which is kind of funny because I thought that that was going to be like my best friend sort of thing, because that's the name of it. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you some ideas of some things that were must-haves, some things that I kind of thought were good ideas, and some things that I personally didn't need or use. Comment below and let me know what you guys found to be must-haves for your babies, or some of the things that you purchased if you're pregnant. And my next video, I think I'm going to film what's in my diaper bag video, because I think you guys will like that. If you have any other ideas for videos, comment below and let me know. Follow me on my social media, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!